If your ad account feels more like a money shredder than a cash multiplier, then you want to listen to this before you launch your next ad. If you're selling high ticket coaching, consulting, or agency services, and you're making at least 15K to 50,000 a month, and you're spending money on ads, but you feel like you're mostly getting a graveyard full of let me think about it calls, no shows, low quality leads, inconsistent cash flow, and profits declining so fast you need a seatbelt just to look at your Stripe account, then chances are you don't have an engine that turns ad spend into high paying clients. Your calendar's starving from a lead famine. When you try to scale, your ROAS bleeds out and dies on the stretcher. You don't have a system to test and launch winning creatives, and you don't have a proven method to stand out as the leading go-to guy in your market. And if you don't have those and you rely on hope and hustle to make your ads work, then Meta's algorithm is already eating you alive. Now, who am I and why should anything I say matter to you? I'm Wes Jones, and I've helped scale 7 and 8 figure brands in both the direct-to-consumer and the info product space. I've spent over $7 million on ads across 7 channels, and I've created some of the biggest and most engaged audiences on Meta. I've also developed a unique scaling system based on 10 years in the trenches scaling. But I never thought I'd end up here because that's not how it started. You see, I grew up in one of the worst hoods in Chicago. The closest thing to thriving to me back then was to be dangerous. But that life led to me fighting multiple felonies by 17 years old. The judge even told me, "You're a menace to society," as he set my bail to $125,000, knowing I couldn't pay it. And after a few months of sitting in jail facing up to 15 years, I thought it was over for me. But if it wasn't for Grams, meet my grandmother, she leveraged her house to secure my bond because all she wanted for me was to graduate high school. And if it wasn't for that one act of kindness, none of this stuff ever would have unfolded for me. Now, I know this is supposed to be the turning point in my life, but instead I started a 6 figure weed empire. And over the next year, that's what I did with my life. But it wasn't until someone close to me told me, you're smart enough to make this kind of money without selling drugs, right? Truth was, I never even considered that I could make lots of money, legit, without looking over my shoulder and worrying about the law. So that day, I quit and I decided to go all in doing just that. And I did what anybody who doesn't know what to do next would do. I went to college where I met my wife. I also started my first company flipping real estate. I flipped a few properties and thought I was finally going to be rich, but reality kicked in. Without a steady stream of seller leads, credit, resources, and the right network, real estate started to feel like a pipe dream. So I went back to the drawing board and I realized I spent most of my time generating leads online anyway. So I started studying online marketing, ad buying, funnels, copy, anything I can get my hands on. Now, remember those felonies we talked about earlier? Well, eventually, I was convicted on one of the charges, which meant I couldn't get any job. Not even McDonald's would hire me. And without being able to get a good paying job, I couldn't take care of my family. So my wife had to get 2 jobs just to keep us floating. It all came crashing down. My wife was laid off and we had to move back to Graham's crib. So there I was, back where I started, square one, back in the hood. On the outside, I was portraying confidence, but on the inside, I was falling apart until I got a lifeline. One of my digital marketing mentors reached out to me with an opportunity to join his startup ad agency as their lead media buyer. So I would get paid to run ads and scale 7 and 8 figure companies. Within a year, we went from $15,000 a month to $150,000 a month with me running the entire ad buying team. After 2 years, I branched out and I launched my own ad agency and I made $15,000 in my first 2 weeks. And I continued making $30,000 to $50,000 a month in my ad agency, and everything changed. I got to move out of the harsh Midwest winters and live in sunny beach weather year round and create a life I don't need a vacation from. I got to retire my wife from the workforce, so she has never had to work another job again. I got to make my Grams proud. She saw my glow up and watched me transform from a street smart gangster to a strategic entrepreneur. I got to raise my kids in the best neighborhoods and gated communities where they can't hear gunshots outside in the middle of the night. I got to fly and road trip across the country and eat at the best restaurants, stay at the best hotels and beachfront Airbnbs with my family. And I got to change the trajectory and legacy of my family forever. None of that would have been possible unless I was able to crack the one skill every business owner needs to scale their business: creating trust-driven client ad engines that scale. And that's exactly why I want to help other digital marketers, coaches, consultants, agency owners, and course creators launch the same high-scale ad engines that I've installed for 7 and 8 figure companies to help them get 10 and 20x ROAS, because it changed my life. And I'm confident it'll change yours too if implemented correctly. Now, after millions in ad spend, do you want to know at the highest levels what really worked and what didn't across the board? Once I found this pattern, acquisition costs came down, ROAS shot up 400 to 1,000% out the gate. No more Slack messages from my help. My team now runs the entire system on their own. What I discovered is that you're stuck because the game has changed. The old way of running ads is dead. I call it one night stand scaling. I call it that because it's obsessed with getting a quick hit. Run an ad, drive to a VSL, push for a call, one call close. It's all about taking, not building. You're basically saying to your market, give me what I want right now. I don't really care about you after that. And your audience can tell because they're not stupid. They can feel that energy from a mile away. And because of it, you're burning through ad dollars, churning through leads like crazy, desperate for low hanging fruit, all while praying for some magical ad that'll suddenly scale you to $1 million a month. But this thinking is completely disconnected from how people make the decision to buy today. We are in a trust starved market. It's not buy first, trust later anymore. Google backs this with several studies on this new evolution of the buyer's journey. What they found was that today, buyers expect longer, multi channel, and content heavy paths to purchase. So the linear, single channel buying journey is just getting harder to scale, period. Buyers today want more touch points, more content across more channels. Here's the hard truth: only 1% of people are willing to invest thousands of dollars after seeing one ad and hopping on a Zoom call anyway. The other 99%, they're watching, they're lurking, and they're waiting to see if you're really the one that they should trust. So stop running ads like one night stands because your market has been burned by other agencies, masterminds, and gurus before, or they've heard the horror stories. The good news is that your competitors are running ads the old way. They're trying to take what they can get today and ghost the other 99%. So you've got the opportunity of a lifetime to pivot your ad strategy before it becomes common knowledge. But until you do, you're just another stranger in the news feed asking for money. So if you cling to the same old playbook, you'll keep paying more for worse leads, getting higher acquisition costs, and dealing with unpredictable months. The new way, however, is like compound scaling because sales continue to grow even if your ad spend doesn't. I call it the client multiplier system, and it consists of three pillars. Pillar number one, the scale path engine. Have you ever wondered why some people have such low ad spend, yet they cash in 8x, 10x, even 15x ROAS? What's the difference between you running ads and them? Well, they have high scale, top of funnel conversion ad systems, commission only setters, and high octane sales and follow up systems. And that consists of a three-phase operating system that takes you from testing to high scale $100,000 plus per month. Setter systems that stop lost leads and turn every ad dollar into profit, and internal SOPs and custom GPTs for crafting pre follow ups to get 80% show up rates, crafting a one call close script that gets 40% close rates over the phone, writing hard-hitting emails that convert into cash-collected deals, and launching new profit-generating ads weekly. When you do this right, you get qualified calls on your calendar like clockwork, well below industry standard costs. And it gives you leverage because now you have a battle-tested system to scale your company without feeling like you're gambling on every ad. Pillar number two is the bank method. Think of the bank method like a high-yield trust account. Each step compounds authority and grows trust until your audience can't help but cash in with you. This isn't just cranking out content. It's about engineering trust. Every touch point drops deposits into a trust fund that pays out forever. This is content nurturing on steroids. BANK stands for build, align, nurture, and convert your audience. This is our four-step trust engine. In this stage, your goal is to address your market's four key trust levers, which is social proof, unique mechanism, credibility, and believability. When you do this right, it turns you into a leading authority in your prospect's mind immediately, and it amplifies your top of funnel conversion ads with a compounding pipeline of people who are actively seeking you out, not the other way around. Now, pillar number three is echo stacking. Have you ever noticed how the top 1% of marketers follow you around on every platform? The reason they're able to do that is because they're using echo stacking, which means you're omnipresent across multiple platforms at all times. This is cross-channel retargeting. The goal is to leverage four or more channels so your offer echoes everywhere. When you do this right, your prospects see you everywhere, which makes them view you as the top dog in your industry. And it also positions you for high scale, 6 to 7 figures per month, because it amplifies your ROAS. Now let's be real. Nobody believes anything in 2025. Every face is filtered, every voice is AI generated, every claim sounds like it was written by a magician with a marketing degree. Trust? Extinct. Here's the twist though: we've already been subconsciously trained, better yet, psychologically primed to place instant, unquestioning trust in two types of people, and we can use that to our advantage. Let me prove it. Type 1, the physician. From the moment we enter school, we're conditioned to raise our hand, ask for permission, obey the teacher. But that seed grows into something deeper, a lifelong instinct to identify people with authority and expertise through associations. As humans, in order to survive, we instinctually make associations or mental shortcuts that point us to who we should follow. Why? Best-selling author and psychologist Robert Cialdini calls it authority bias. It means people are socially hardwired to seek and obey authority. So we unconsciously search for associations that represent it. Think a whiteboard. You know who the teacher is when you walk into the room because they're the one standing in front of the whiteboard, right? You know who the police officer is because you see the badge or you hear the siren. That's why when you see your doctor in a white lab coat, you unconsciously think, this is the physician or the doctor, the expert, and I need to listen to them because we automatically defer to perceived experts, whether through titles, uniforms, or symbols, without any conscious thought, to the point that millions of people will take medical advice from an actor as long as he's wearing a lab coat. In our minds, that lab coat is associated with medical authority, or at least scientific authority. And you can channel that same instinct to associate. It sounds crazy, but it's effective. So effective that according to Gallup, physicians are the number one most trusted profession, even when 80% of patients don't fully understand what they're being told. Why does that matter to you? Because when your audience views you as their physician, they don't need convincing anymore because they're already leaning in. The key is to differentiate between the teacher and the physician. The teacher stands in front of a whiteboard and gives value, right? So you're learning information, facts, principles, etc. But you don't want this association. Because of AI, information is too abundant. So this can actually lower your perceived value if not done right. But with the physician, the patient only comes when they have an urgent problem. And as the physician, you can spot the problem and prescribe the cure. And that changes everything. Now, because you've identified their most pressing problems and given them the quickest pain reliever for it, you've primed your prospect to associate you as the physician in that niche. Once that happens, objections vanish, conversions accelerate, profitability gets a steroid injection, and your influence scales rapidly without you working harder. You move from hard selling to simply prescribing the solution to their pain. And it snowballs into a feedback loop where the more you speak, the more they trust you. Your voice is a market moving asset. Your market doesn't want more information. They want someone they can trust to tell them what to do next. The second type of person that we all trust is the star. Think about it. Why does Nike spend $100 million to have LeBron wear a shoe? Because fame equals trust. If the famous wear it, we believe it must work. Psychologists call this the halo effect. Once someone is perceived as successful in one area, we trust them in other areas, even if they're unrelated. So when you channel this instinct right, you don't have to chase attention anymore because now you're top of mind in your market. Your audience is already pre-sold before you ever even make a pitch, and they genuinely trust you before even understanding your offer, which means you can charge more, sell faster, and have people waiting to work with you. And they start to associate you as the best because they've seen you everywhere, and you become the obvious choice, not the option. Bottom line is, the most effective way by far to build trust today is to be seen as both the physician and the star. Because the physician equals authority, which makes people listen to you. And the star equals celebrity, which makes people want to follow you. Together, they make people buy from you without resistance. With my program, in 12 weeks, you'll be seen as the expert and get calls from ads without posting, grinding all day like crazy, or algorithm magic tricks. Here's what it did for my clients. Don and Kimball were able to get 843% ROAS for the low ticket front end offer on a shoestring budget in 3 weeks. Using this approach, my client's business went from struggling to book 9 appointments a month at $150 each to booking 78 appointments in 30 days at just $21 a call, collecting $51,000 in cash with $1,600 in ad spend. That's a 31x return on ad spend. My other clients, Boyce and Charles, used this strategy to launch a brand new untested offer, spent just over $1,600 on ads, and made $18,000 in the first 30 days. That's 11 to 1 ROAS. Now, if you want one-on-one help scaling your ads, We'll help you step one, set up our scale path engine to launch ads that scale. Plus, get our tools for more sales and strong follow ups. Step two, we're going to help you launch the bank method to build instant authority and raise conversions. And step three, add echo stacking across four more channels to become the top expert and grow your ROI. We're also going to help you get 50 to 80 plus qualified calls on your calendar with leads that actually show up ready to buy without needing a huge marketing budget. And if you don't make at least $15,000 in 12 weeks, I'll continue working with you until you do. If you decide to move forward, here's what's going to happen next. We'll review your funnel and ads with our 8-step conversion scorecard to spot fast wins and grow your ROI. I'll help you one-on-one set up the client multiplier system, book 50 to 80 plus calls a month, and scale to $100,000 a month plus with your offer, all in just 12 weeks. Look, I want you to imagine your alarm goes off, you roll over, you check your phone, and your calendar looks like a Black Friday line outside of an Apple store. Your book's solid. Every name on that list is pre-sold, pre-warmed, ready to move. No desperate posting marathons, no algorithm prayers, no awkward Zoom pitches to people who just need to think about it. You did it. You flipped the switch. Your ad account's printing cash. Your content has people binge watching like it's Netflix, and your system is crushing while you sleep, fly, recharge, or build. No more scrambling to fix broken campaigns. No more wondering what headline or creative will finally convert. No more sales chaos disguised as freedom. You've got leads chasing you down like a wait list for a sold out tour. Your face, your voice, your name, it echoes in their minds before you even show up to the call because you didn't wait to earn trust. You engineered it from day one. Now you have more than just a message, you have a movement. And while your competitors are complaining about the algorithm, your calendar's full, your prices have increased, and the noise is gone, and you move with certainty. Now you've got two options. Option one is the hard way. Sure, you can save yourself some money and just do all of this yourself. But going this route will cost you more time trying to build a strategy from scratch while continuing to gamble on ads using your current strategy, prevent your business from growing exponentially over the next 90 days because you're stuck in hustle mode, putting out fires, and ultimately cost you even more money when you consider the opportunity cost from all the time wasted on more flat ROI campaigns. Now, option number two, get a coach. Yes, it requires you to invest money and time over the next 12 weeks, but it's the fastest way to break your plateau, scale to $100,000 plus per month without burnout or endless hustle, and step up as the CEO, not just another coach chasing clients and rolling dice on ads. It's also the fastest way for you to attract clients willing to pay top dollar without pushback, so you can stop being the best kept secret in your space. It's also the best way for you to stop reinventing the wheel and build a marketing machine that you trust that allows you to delegate with confidence, which means you're no longer the bottleneck. You can actually grow now without everything falling apart every 6 weeks because you're not there. So, if you're ready to stop wasting time and money trying to do it yourself, book a call below. If you already have, then you might be saying to yourself, look, man, I've tried other agencies and masterminds about courses or other programs before, and I'm still stuck. And I get it. Most programs are teaching 2019 ad strategies and handing you off to a junior coach who's never done what you're trying to do. That's why this is different. With us, you're getting access to weekly one-on-one coaching and live ad reviews with me directly. You're also going to get access to my custom GPT that spits out high-scale ad creatives and copy. You're going to get Voxer access for fast answers between calls Monday through Friday. You're also going to get my internal SOPs for scaling high 6 and 7 figures per month. And you're going to get plug-and-play campaigns, ads, funnels, and retargeting ready to book 80 plus calls a month without any wasted ad spend or testing grind. And if you're thinking my niche is different, my sales process is unique, will this still apply to me? Yes, we've helped experts in the B2B and B2C industries ranging from alternative health, cannabis, speaking, business funding, and the list goes on. Because the client multiplier system is built on timeless marketing psychology, not trends and tactics. If you're selling at least a 3K to 20K offer and you're booking calls, this system will work for you. Because at the end of the day, every business needs these three things: the right audience to trust them, a battle tested marketing system to extract qualified leads, and a proven sales system to liquidate leads into cold, hard cash. The client multiplier system does all of that for you. Maybe it's nerves because you think, look, I'm too busy, I don't have the bandwidth. But isn't that the problem? That's actually exactly why you need this, because you're doing all the heavy lifting yourself. So your time is tied to every sale. The client multiplier system installs engines, team leverage, and AI so you can scale without doing more. Get high leverage support so you can focus on what really matters to you. Income producing activities that you actually enjoy, getting unstuck from your current income level, becoming a high level CEO, not just another coach, and ultimately spending more deep quality time with your family, not distracted, but fully present, living your life. Click below to book a call now. What are you waiting for, man? Just click the button, book a call. When you book your call today, you're making a commitment to show up on time, come with an open mind, and be ready to think differently. If you made it this far, book your call now. Let's hop on the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's see if there's some issues I can help you fix, right? There's probably some issues you've been stuck in the weeds looking at it too closely, and you just need another perspective that'll open up everything for you. Click the button below, book a call now.